This is episode 674. Today we're going to be talking about overcoming mental barriers, strategies to unlock your full potential. So overcoming mental barriers. In the pursuit of success, however we define it, it's not uncommon to encounter internal roadblocks that can stall or even derail your progress. As a matter of fact, most of the roadblocks that we meet on our road to success are internal. It could be something that we're not capable of doing, but it's going to be our internal story about why it's such a big deal. So most, if not all, of our barriers to success are mental. And mental barriers like fear, self-doubt, and procrastination often stand in the way of achieving your full potential. You think about it, you put something off because maybe you're afraid that you'll, quote, fail, or maybe you're afraid of getting a different result than you want. So then you resort to procrastination where you don't do anything so you don't get a result. And then that leads to self-doubt. So all of these are different types of mental barriers. And understanding these barriers and implemented effective strategies to overcome them is crucial for both personal and professional growth. So let's take a look at some of these limiting barriers and see if any of these sound familiar to you. Fear. We talked a little bit about fear, right? But what we want to do is overcoming fear is we want to identify the source, not just the source of it's in our mind, but really the source. Where is this fear coming from? Is it coming from perhaps a past experience that was similar? Is it coming from something you tried in the past, completely different, didn't succeed, and people made fun of you back in school and stuff? So we want to identify the source of our fear so we can deal with it correctly. And then, so part of that is also through exposure therapy. If you are afraid to talk in public, you talk in public. If you're afraid to ask people out on dates, you ask them out on dates. If you're afraid to do something, you do that, and you keep doing it until you don't have that fear anymore. And then within that fear, whenever you're taking action, you want to focus on the learning that you're getting from taking action. And the learning is something positive that moves you forward. A learning is not, I'll never do that again. That's not a learning, that's an avoidance. But when we take action, we get a result, we take action in spite of fear, we get a result, there's a learning in that, and we want to learn every time we take an action. So those are three very specific steps that you can take today to start to overcome fear. So the next one, self-doubt. How can we overcome self-doubt? Well, there's a lot of ways, but here's three. One, challenge negative self-talk. So if we have some negative self-talk about ourselves, one of the best things that I ask my clients to do is prove yourself wrong. If you think that you don't have enough accomplishments in life, prove yourself wrong by going back in the past and seeing what accomplishments you have. If you say, I can't talk, in public, go back in the past and find the talks that you did give in public, because we all talk in public. Whether we're at the gym, it's public, so it's how we frame it, right? But what we want to do is challenge those negative self-talks, and we want to do it by proving ourselves wrong. When we can prove ourselves wrong, we realize that that negative self-talk isn't as powerful as it once used to be. Set achievable goals. So if we have doubt about achieving something, let's just say we have a goal that is really outside of our comfort zone. We'll use the gym, for example. Let's say you are just beginning to lift and you have self-doubt about lifting 225 pounds. Great. Well, then set a goal for 95 pounds. And if that's still too high, set it for 75. Set a goal where you can achieve it, and then you start to incrementally improve on it. But those little successes will soon fade away at your self-doubt. And then seek feedback, right? So we want to get positive feedback. And this is what's so important about coaching and using a coach, is the coach just doesn't blow smoke up your butt. They really give you their perspective on the feedback and the feedback to help eliminate self-doubt. And this can be done through friends, family, even coworkers can ask for feedback on when you are achieving something. And this will also provide a great eraser of self-doubt. Procrastination. You know, a lot of times I hear that people have procrastination because they're afraid of failing. But in reality, what they're doing is being afraid to succeed, because by not doing anything, they fail automatically. But let's take a look here. So understand why you procrastinate, right? Understanding the reason behind it. Is it because you don't want to fail? Because you don't want to succeed? Because if you succeed, you're going to be somebody different. And who would that new version of you be? So we want to understand, really look at it. Is it avoidance? Is it self-doubt? Is it, there could be a myriad of things. Is it perfectionism? Understanding why you procrastinate, you then can help yourself, remove that reason. Use time management. So if you keep putting things off, set deadlines for yourself. Say, okay, I'm going to do the dishes by 6 o'clock tonight. You put an alarm on it and you set it, and it goes off, and you go, okay, here's what I got to do. I got to do the dishes now. But using time management and can create a sense of urgency, because guaranteed if somebody told you had to do the dishes, or you'd have to pay them $1,000, you would do the dishes. So we just have to find out how to use that time management more effectively, and create a reward system. Like I just mentioned, that $1,000, if you didn't do the dishes, well, if you did do them, well, you'll get 2,000. So we want to create a reward system for ourselves, but not consistently, right? We just want to get us used to taking action. So a reward system and time management can help an awful lot with procrastination. And again, this is where a coach comes in handy, by challenging you, holding you accountable, not accepting your excuses for why you didn't do something. So these are 3 ways that you can reduce and even eliminate procrastination. Overwhelm. This is a big one for a lot of my clients, because we have a lot of things going on in our lives. We're trying to juggle them, put them in order, but at some level, we believe that we have to get them all done right now. And so we don't know where to go to. And you chase 2 rabbits, you catch none. And so when you have this overwhelm, you kind of don't even take action at all. So let's take a look at how we can eliminate overwhelm. Prioritize your tasks. That can be either done either by what's the easiest things to get done first, and then you build momentum, or what are the things that are going to have the biggest impact on your life that day, right now, and prioritize those. Either way, you prioritize a list and you start working yourself through it. I know a lot of folks who like to start with the easy ones and get towards the large ones, but what happens is when they get towards the large ones, they run out of time, or they make an excuse not to do it. So they say, well, I'll do it tomorrow. So I really like looking at the ones that'll have the biggest impact on your life at that point. It might not be the hardest one to do. It might not be the easiest one to do, but by taking care of that, you may have the biggest effect on your life. Delegate when possible. So this is at work. You look at the task, you delegate. If you're at home, you delegate. You ask your family to help you out. You ask your spouse, you ask your kids, you ask your brother, you ask your sister, whoever it is, you ask them to help you out when possible with tasks that you have done. If you have to go to the doctors and take the car to be repaired and do something else. You can say, hey, can you take the car for me to be repaired? And since I don't have a car, would you also please go ahead and drop me off at the doctor's? So you just want to delegate when possible. Practice mindfulness. When we have mindfulness awareness, we only pay attention to what is happening right now, which means that we don't think about the past, we don't worry about the future. It's just, what do we do right now? And I've given this example before about eating an orange taking an hour, because we're so mindful with it. But even still, even you don't have to use the orange, but you can go, what am I doing right now put all your attention into it, and this overwhelm will be diminished. So now let's take a look at motivation. And I use the word motivation, but it could also be inspiration, because motivation is external, and when that motivation is gone, we kind of run out of steam. Inspiration is internal and kind of longer lasting, but we'll use motivation because it's easier to understand. So reconnect with your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? What is your purpose at work? What is your purpose in life? Understanding your why can create such a great deal of inspiration for you to get going after the project or after the goal. A lot of times we start something, oh, this is my why. I'm going to make the world, I'm going to change the world. I'm going to do something. And 2 months we get into it and we go, this is so boring. I'm going to stop it. And we forget why we started it in the first place. So going back and re-examining your why is very, very powerful. Change your environment. We get used to the same environment. And that means can be change. If you have a home office, change your home office up. Change the bookcase, change the desk, change things around, change your living room around. When we change our environment, we change the energy. We change that energy. It's contagious, and we will acquire or get motivation, aka inspiration, to do things. So as best you can, change that environment. It's wonderful. I mean, I don't know when the last time you changed your office, if you have one at home or your living room, but go ahead and make that a project for this weekend to change your environment and see how better it feels. Visualize your success. So when you constantly see the success that you're after, whether it's financial, personal growth, career, whatever it might be, but when you visualize that success over and over and over again, you will create this internal energy, this inspiration, motivation for you to take action on that. So if you're lacking motivation, you want to visualize your success as it's happened, and then reconnect with your why and change your environment. So achieving self-mastery, right? This is kind of what we're talking about. And by understanding and addressing these mental barriers, you can enhance your ability to pursue and achieve your goals. Each step you take in overcoming these obstacles not only brings you closer to success, but also builds your resilience and capability for future challenges. If you'd like to see the show notes on this podcast, you can visit warriormindcoach.com. While you're over there, you can find more useful information in the form of blog posts, podcasts, and even how to contact me for a breakthrough session. Since you'll be on the internet, please follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest under Warrior Mind Coach.